Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I've been meaning to do an introductory video for a little while now, and today is the day. I just wanted to give a little introduction to me, who I am as a photographer, and what my intention is with this channel, so that you'll have some idea of what to expect as I move forward with additional content. So I'm obviously a photographer of a certain age, who for me, when I got involved in photography, there was just photography. There wasn't analog photography, digital photography. There was photography that may have been categorized as amateur photography or professional photography, but certainly nobody ever said anything about analog photography when I was younger, just because analog really is a distinction between a type of photography that's different from digital photography. Now, I've been around photography as long as I can remember. Both of my parents were avid amateur photographers, and I can't remember exactly the first time I ever took a picture on my own, but I do know that I took my first entire roll of film on my own at the age of 6, which I still have that roll today. I also received my first camera of my own at the age of 8. Just a little Kodak Instamatic like many of us had back then. Now, my interest in photography really blossomed probably in high school, taking a photography class at the time. Of course, at that time, everything was still chemicals and film, and so we had a darkroom, and I learned darkroom techniques and some of the fundamentals of real photography, I guess you'd say. Around that same time, I also started developing an interest in collecting cameras, and so I started inheriting cameras that were hand-me-downs from family members, maybe cameras that were no longer being used. I have a natural interest in things that are vintage and old anyway, and along with an interest in photography, it just seemed like a natural extension for me to be interested in collecting old cameras. So I started attending camera shows and, of course, found cameras in antique stores and thrift shops and junk stores, and slowly amassed a collection over the years. I wasn't ever really intent on hitting a certain target, but I've probably got maybe somewhere between 40 and 50 cameras now, a pretty modest collection. Most of the cameras that I own in this collection are not valuable. They're cameras that just about anybody could afford, and I guess I haven't really collected the really expensive stuff yet. So what I would like to do with this channel is show off some of these cameras, some of the more unusual ones, and maybe some of the different techniques that are used to shoot with the older cameras, particularly cameras that use obsolete film formats or use different techniques than what we're used to with modern cameras. I really intend to focus on cameras that also haven't received a lot of airtime on YouTube already. So, for instance, I do have a Canon AE1 program in my collection, but I probably won't make a video on that camera just because there are already so many videos on YouTube available for that camera today. I'm really interested in bringing to you cameras that you might not otherwise see on YouTube, and then show them in use, and hopefully, if possible, show actual photos that I've taken with these cameras. So I invite you to come along on this adventure with me, and I don't really have a set time period when I'll be posting content, but hopefully I'm going to try and shoot for at least once a month if I can sustain that rate of production and bring new cameras to you on a regular basis.